Good morning, everybody. Traveling Tuesdays with Mike again. Been gone for a week or two, but we're back at it. Couple things. If you guys know of somebody you want to hear about what they do or a business, how it operates, don't hesitate to give Sydney or myself a call or a message on Facebook. We'd be glad to look into interviewing these folks and getting more information out there about them. Today, we're taking a Durango Citadel. Durango Citadel is the top of the SUV class in the Dodge lineup. It has heated leather front and second row seats, ventilated front seats. It's got a nice sunroof here if sunroofs are to your liking. If they're not, it disappears. Also, full digital screen with the thin transistor readout. The stereo system is a Harman Kardon stereo, the upgraded stereo system with 13 speakers. It's got a tow package on it, V8 motor. It's ready to do just about anything a truck would do, only with a little more comfort, and 7 passenger seating. In this vehicle, there are 7 passenger seating available, and just a really nice top of the line SUV. Dodge is running this both in the Citadel and in the GT. Both are available in all-wheel drive. For the sporty enthusiasts, we also have an RT still in the Citadel with that all-famous Hemi engine. So the Durango is just a real nice part of our lineup, and it gives people that 7 passenger seating in an SUV. So today we're going to interview Quincy at the Fairboard, and we're going to get a little information on a couple things that she's got going on. So ride along with us and we'll go see Quincy. Good morning, everybody. Mike back here. We're here today with Quincy Thompson. She is the Fairboard, give me your official title.
Marketing manager.
That's what I thought. But so Quincy, just tell us a little bit about your job here. Is this the first time this position has been for the Fairboard? Is this a new position? Or?
So the Fairboard did create this position. I am the second person to have it. Ty Coyle, she took it. She left big shoes for me to fill. I think that I've been doing really good. It's my first full year, so now I'm working on my second fair.
Cool.
Yes.
Good deal. So how do you like it?
I love it. It's really nice, the flexibility. I don't know if you've been up to the fairgrounds. There's always something going on.
Sure.
So that's always something new.
Sure. What skill set? Is it marketing your thing?
So my degree is in graphic design.
Okay.
So I do photography, and I've turned that into a lot of the things that we do now, incorporate photos anymore, always do. So social media always has photos, and then just taking that and adding all of the content that we have going on.
So it kind of brings the advertising to life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which
Yep.
you have to do now.
We've got, there's a website, there's always a Facebook page now, and then just keeping all the content new on both.
Right. I'd say my generation and above, that's not as big a part of things, but anybody any younger than me, I mean, first thing they do is go to Facebook, go to the web. Where's the web page for that thing? So yeah,
everything has to be mobile friendly now.
Yeah.
You have to have everything be mobile friendly.
So, and I think that's becoming a big thing. I mean, the dealership, we're working on that really hard. So do you have any events coming up in the near future you'd like to talk about?
We do. So on the grounds, we have the Apple Festival this weekend, and with that is the Dairy Barn Emporium. And then our events that the fair actually is hosting, we have the Mom to Mom sale coming up, and then a job fair coming up. Both of the Junior Fair building on, I think it's November 2nd is the Mom to Mom, and November 3rd is the job fair.
So Mom to Mom, I'm guessing, but go ahead and tell us what that's all about.
So the Mom to Mom is just a very specific niche. I don't want to say garage sale, but that's what it is as far as women coming, and they'll sell toys, clothes, books. We even have vendors coming and selling books and things that are targeted towards children.
Gotcha.
And not just babies, because when we had the sale last year, I mean, it's from newborn all the way up till, 9, 10-year-old, 11-year-old stuff.
Gotcha. And your job fair, is that geared towards any specific company, or are you having multiple
So we're
companies
having, as of right now, multiple companies are coming in and they're setting up booths, and that way they can talk to potential employees.
Cool.
Yes.
And what was the date on the job fair?
That one is November 2nd.
Okay.
I had that switch. November 2nd.
Time of day, do you have that yet?
10 to 2.
10 to 2.
It's on a Friday.
Cool.
And then the Mom to Mom sale is Saturday morning. It's from 9 to 3.
So this position, you're getting into your first full year.
Yes.
What's your favorite thing about it?
Probably that there always is a different event. So even though we've had the fair, there's the Trader Days that goes on, the Apple Festival that goes on, that I haven't yet to do a single event twice.
Gotcha.
So there's always something there. That's one of the cool things. And then all the people that I meet, I come from, I mean, I'm not like a city kid, but I grew up in the city. I didn't have any pets. I didn't do 4-H. I didn't do those types of things. So it's actually been really interesting this year with the fair, learning a lot about agriculture and learning a lot about animals.
Gotcha. Cool. And I think that's probably part of the issue with the fair now. So many people don't have the animals, and even the farmers. I mean, that's the hard part of farming, is raising livestock. So they're kind of doing away with it some.
I think that's why it's really important for 4-H. They have the entire junior fair building during the fair to showcase everything, and not just animals. There's, cooking and sewing and all these other projects. But it's really interesting too, if you walk down to any of the barns and you see some of their kids working on their livestock, it's really cool. Because I went down there and talked to some of them that were, they show pigs or they're showing sheep, and how it's usually at that point a family business. There's no one just showing one. There's several, because it is harder to do that. So.
Well, your enthusiasm is transparent. So, I mean, I think you're probably the right person for this job. I wish we could have kept you at the United Way, but
yes,
because I think it would help there too. But I think you're in the right spot, and they got the right person. So I'm really happy for you.
They all laughed at me because I asked way too many questions during board meetings. They talk about different animals, and I had no idea what they were. So this year I even went and bugged some of the farmers, I guess, or the people who had dairy cows. Have you ever watched a cow at the dairy, like the milking parlor? I hadn't, so I made a point to go down there and check it out. I think that is so cool. I was giving myself some education this year on everything. So
cool. Probably an important part of this job.
Yeah.
You can't talk about it if you don't know about it.
Correct.
So. The fair in general, the fair board, fairgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
I know you have camping. Is that open year round?
Yes.
Okay.
So there's camping year round, and then there's also special camping when there's events.
Right. Okay. So I think a lot of people just don't realize what all goes on out here, and I'm sure that's one of the reasons for the position you're in, is to make sure they know. Do you see people coming from farther away to do things here at the fair, or is it still mostly local?
I think it depends what's going on.
Okay.
So during specifically the fair, things like the harness racing and the thoroughbred racing, those are such a niche thing. We've got people from all over. So again, I went down there during the fair and talked to some of the people. On the Monday of the fair, during the thoroughbred horse racing, some of the people were from Florida that came up. They had horses up this way. They're owners of the horses, and they came up to have their horses in the racing. We're the only fair in the state of Ohio that still does the thoroughbred racing. So I think that does attract a crowd. Same with the harness racing. Harness racing is still in other fairs too, but it's specifically a niche thing that we get people in here. During Trader Days, same thing. I ask people, where are you from? How far have you come? We had people, I would still say local is in the state of Ohio, but we had people from Toledo coming, people from Defiance coming. I had some Dayton people that had came up here for it. So again, it just depends what the event that's going on. I feel like our Apple Festival, is probably heavily local, but people will come for that too. But there's things like the Johnny Appleseed Festival in Fort Wayne that they don't really need to travel very far to go to an Apple Festival.
An Apple Festival.
Yeah.
And that's coming up this weekend.
That's this weekend.
Friday and Saturday.
Yes, the 19th and the 20th.
That's probably a busy couple days, isn't it?
It is.
My church did the caramel corn forever. And people got older, less interest, yada, yada, yada. So we aren't as involved in that anymore. But I can remember people coming to the fair the Apple Fest, just for that.
Yeah.
They would stand in line for half hour, 45 minutes, and I'm like, you people are crazy.
I can even tell you where, I remember growing up, I can tell you where it was at
Mm-hmm.
in the commercial building. So
So it was, yeah, the Apple Fest has become a huge thing.
It has.
And I can remember when it started, you just operated on Saturday, like from 10 to 4. It wasn't a very big deal. And then they opened up the hours on Saturday, and then they went into Friday afternoon. And so that's become, yeah, it's really cool. Well, Quincy, is there anything else you'd like to add about your job or about things going on out here?
Specifically for the fairgrounds, other than those events going on coming up, we definitely have already talked about, we're already in the works for planning our 2019 fair. Different things that we're going to add and take away from this year. So the 2018 fair, the new things that we had was the bird encounter with the petting zoo. We had a new ride company this year. We had glass blowing this year, and we had Kosai on wheels this last year. So taking those things, we're definitely going to bring a bunch of that back. And our goal is to actually have more of an artisan area. So we're working on getting a blacksmith for some demonstrations, and we were thinking about having a potter out here to do some demonstrations. So working on that, and then just kind of going from there.
Sounds good. Now, do you do anything for, like, I know they have the lights at Christmas. Do they do anything else, like a Christmas bazaar or anything like that, or is things pretty well quiet down after Thanksgiving out here?
So we do building rentals. So we do have a couple corporate Christmas parties happening at some of the buildings, but other than that, the grounds is the 4-H kids. They do their Christmas drive-through. I think it's like $5, and you get to per carload, and you get to come through the grounds that they set up for them. But typically, the fairgrounds hasn't had any events just because of it is cold and not going to do a whole lot outside. But we've always talked about even doing. I'm not sure if it's ultrasound. They have like a portable ice rink type setup. So we have talked about it. It is a possibility. Yeah.
Excuse me. Sounds good. Sounds good. Well, we've been talking with Quincy Thompson here at Fairboard County Fairboard today. She is the marketing manager out here. I'm sure she would welcome if you have any suggestions, comments.
Absolutely.
That's how she does her job, is trying to, build on things. So, what are your hours here during the off season?
So we're trying to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 to 2. You can always call. You can always leave a voicemail. We get back to you. And then we are working on a couple evenings. And the winter hours are a little bit different. We always make sure to have at least 1 to 2 nights where we're open till 6 or 8. So that way people who work first shift can come in.
Gotcha. So, all right. Yeah. Well, thank you for being with us today. And we'll see you next week.